Here we go.
Yeah, what did I want to say? I suppose I wanted to say something about it's a struggle for a valid identity, and that experience of school and society generally can be very constraining. There are these kind of rules about being a proper boy or a proper girl, and that when those rules are very binary and very explicit, in fact, I would say certainly my experience of childhood, being denoted as male and boy, the bandwidth for acceptable identity was very, very narrow and far too constraining. So I knew that I didn't actually fit within the rules of boyness. Some things I did, but not everything. And when I looked at my friends who were the girls, I kind of liked them. I liked their values and I liked their ways. And so although I, would enjoy playing with cars, I'd also stood in the playground and talk to my best friend Catherine. But of course, being in junior school, that's not acceptable because she's a girl and only sissies talk to girls. So, and it's that bit about realising then that certain behaviours are not acceptable because you have been denoted male and those are female. So you've got that kind of split. And then there's the bit about internalised shame, because if you don't demonstrate enough boyness, you get ostracised from the group. So being bad at football means you're not a proper boy. In fact, actually, being clever, well, you're a sissy then, aren't you? You're gay, you're a puff because you're clever. And you're crap at football, well, you're definitely gay, you're definitely a puff, you're definitely a sissy. And you talk to girls, oh, for God's sake, and it's just these kind of very narrow, simplistic rules. And so then there's a kind of struggle to try and be proper male versus an inner experiencing. There's that bit about how, as you were saying earlier on, how do you know if you're male or female? If you were floating in space, what would you identify as? Well, just as a human. What is girlness, what is boyness is irrelevant, just am. So that, so my journey really has been about trying to, phases in my life where I was trying to disavow or disconnect from or repress feminine identity because it was unacceptable, and try and be proper male, try and pass as male, and for a long time I worked as a builder. So that was good cover, that was, because I'd have like grubby clothes and torn jeans and rough boots, and I'd be kind of, scabs on my hands, and it's like, oh, I'm a proper man now. But it's a false self. It's a kind of false self. And so where I'm at now is allowing to explore female space, and then kind of being able to float between genders. So there are times when I'll pass as male, and then there are times when I can be more self. So like today I can be out and I'm genderqueer, or what's called gender fuck, which is the other term for it. But it's part of a bigger umbrella, which is transgender, which kind of encompasses everything, from the people who might go through full genital reassignment, for the people who might live presenting full-time in an opposite gendered modality to what they were denoted at birth, even though without surgery, and then the people who float between genders and depending on the circumstance and the situation.